Hey beauties, morning to you. I saw something on the media where Tyrese Gibson, that great good singer and actor, his ex-wife said she regrets divorcing him basically. And my heart goes out to her, to be honest with you. And as I said, I'm not one to rejoice in anyone's demise, no matter what, even if they're the culpable party, meaning they're the guilty party. And I started to think, the only thing I remember when Tyrese was getting married to her, he was very happy. He seemingly, it was not like an image consultant putting that, because if you know Tyrese and follow him, this is a kind of a spiritual guy. He tries to, I don't know if he's a Christian, or tries to live that kind of a life. I don't know. But I know he has high regard for Reverend Ron. You remember, what's the name of that group again? With Reverend Ron, that I think it was a trio. I think it was three of them that used to rap back in the day, and then they became Christians, or maybe he became a Christian and he's a pastor. Maybe he still does, gospel rap and whatnot. I don't know. But he has high regard for him and TD Jakes and so on, and other people, and Creflo Dollar and some of the other people. And he's a godly guy to me, how he carries himself, his image and all of that, Tyrese. And I was happy for him. The only thing I remember saying to myself is sometimes I wish these, our black men, who, become rich and famous would take out some little picky head black women to and marry to them. Don't just throw them aside because they may not have that status quo. I think that's the only thing I probably said. But I mean, I never had an issue because I don't discriminate against anyone, whether the person is white, black, Indian, chief, as they would say, So, and I was happy. I was shocked to know that in a sort of a new marriage, because they weren't married for many years, if you understand what I mean, like some long marriages, and knowing that, realizing that they're getting a divorce, I said, oh my God. In his case, I was a bit surprised because, as I said, I made sure to preface it that I have him as a spiritual guy, somebody who believes in long-lasting marriages, relationships. And I'm not saying that other people who have gotten divorced did not or does not believe in that. The enemy has a way of just coming in, and the best of the best marriages he finds a way to destroy if you're not cognizant, if you're not vigilant, and sometimes if you don't marry the right person, well then again, or you being the right person, I should say. And I said, boy, that's and it is an unfortunate situation. And lo and behold, I know he had gotten, some time had passed and he had gotten involved. I don't know if he's now recently married to the woman that he's now involved with, a more, I could say a little bit more authentically black woman. And I wish him all the best in this one. If he's married or just involved with her, a committed relationship. I'm not sure what the status of that is. And she gave a press release to say, boy, basically she regrets divorcing her husband, because you see, sometimes in hindsight, when we look back and we realize that we really got 70 to 80% of that individual, no human being can really give you more than 80. We're not wired that way. We were born in sin and shaped in iniquity. In other words, there's that evil side to us. We will make mistakes. It is impossible to not make mistakes. Even if you bring Mother Teresa, Martin Luther King Jr. or Senior, Nelson Mandela, it doesn't matter who you want to call the greats. No matter how introverted, extroverted the person is, no matter how Christian or non-Christian they are, we're prone to wander, WANDR, we're prone to failure. So you can't get, so when you get 80%, or even say 70, and they're working their way up to even 80, that's not bad. There are many people who want even 60% of a human being, all 50. Some are getting just 10, 5%, 10%, 20%. And unfortunately, sometimes people end up leaving that 70, 80% to go and find their remaining 30 or 20. And when they get that remaining 30 or 20, it's only 30 or 20 the person has. The individual only has 30 or 20%. They don't have the 80 or the 70. And maybe she has gotten involved with somebody else and realized, oh my God, my husband would not have done this, or my husband would have done this. And he responded, and you could hear that, he's hurt, because he said, it's almost like she said, you tried to mess up my life financially. $1 million for maybe legal fees when he signed a prenuptial agreement. and basically put him in rigmarole and in shambles almost. Probably because he knows he had to work very hard. Because if you remember Tyrese, how Tyrese became popular, he did his Pepsi or Coca-Cola ad. I remember that years ago. He had done a Pepsi or Coca-Cola. I think they had brought it back to the fore, maybe showing how he became who he became, and they realized, wait, this little young trying youth can sing. Let us give him a deal. And then he went into the acting world and the singing world. He sings and he acts. So you probably have to work very hard, and to watch somebody try to demolish that when you said, you know what, I'm committing my life to you under the guise of the Holy Spirit, under the guise of God. And you want to mess me up and bring me back to a place that I dread, a dark place financially. Sort of that, that is how I'm surmising how he spoke. And he said, you came back to me, and all of this was on the basis of money. On the basis of money. People learn to value people. Do not value money. I've said to somebody, if you should get sick, the physical money itself. So if you have $1,000 or $2,000 in your hand, that cannot lift you up physically and take you to the hospital. It is a human being who has to do that. Value people. Value your relationships. You may be getting 70, 80. Give God thanks, because no human being, as I said, can give you above 80. There are many people who want 50%. 50, and they're getting, I know of cases where the person probably getting maybe 10%, 15. For many years they're married, unhappy. They chose to stay that way. Can't tell people what to do. Because normally we always bash the men when they treat their women badly and abuse them and so on. But the statistics actually shows that women are the one who instigate divorce. Men tend not to. Even if they're not happy, they don't just move like that, generally speaking. They tend to have that level of, I don't know, if it's like it borders between loyalty and devotion, in a sense, even if they're not happy. And I know a case like that. Trust me, you wonder if that man loves a woman, but he's not really initiating a divorce. Maybe because they see the different ramification, he will lose it. When I say lose it, maybe financially, especially, or, or people looking at them in a particular way and say, boy, you really make your relationship mash up. And men, sometimes, their ego is very powerful and they don't want anybody to probably speak negatively about them really too much. And they can't go through the whole diatribe of trying to build back financially, probably especially if they have to struggle and fight and till the soil. Remember the Bible said they're going to till the soil, men, to go back again, to start all over. So that could be a strong possibility as to why they don't generally initiate marriage. And can't bother with the hardship and the hard life. To sell this house, sell all of these assets to give this one 50% or how many percentages, But women, I've made videos about men not, valuing our women and whatnot. But women, if you have a man, because they say the good men are few. If you get a man who is 6, I'm not saying that they're not they're a work in progress. Sometimes God will put somebody who is not they're probably at 50, they're probably at 60% in your life. But it's like I don't want to say a project, like a crutch. No. But it's for both of you to help to build each other so that you can move from 50 to 60 to 70 to 80. That child, they start out at 50%, then now they're at 100. But it takes time. And if you're deliberate and intentional in making your relationship work, stick with that human being. Most people are not really nice. The grass can look greener out there. There are people who can have a lot of money. You understand me? Fame and whatnot. And they're terrible. And they're choosing not to be nice. They've made that concerted decision. They've made that concerted effort. They don't care what people want to say. They don't care how you feel. And they'll put on a show when they go out there in public, but at home. And when I listen to him, it's almost like he said, I tried. And it's because of money. And people telling you this and telling you that. Be careful of the people that you allow in your relationships as well. God must be at the center, and then he will direct you. If you need help, go to a trained and professional, godly counselor. And ask God to help you guys. Go in fasting and prayer, It is what it is, though. May God help them. Guys, follow me on TikTok. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Please share this.